even without an electronic button.
Right. Noam and Chuck, introduce yourselves because you're both children of the Levant. You're both children of the Fertile Crescent. You're
Mhm.
both children of the milk and honey, the land of milk and honey.
The promised land of milk and honey, which eats its inhabitants sometimes too.
Right.
Where are you from, Naum?
It's Noam. No,
Noah.
Noam. I was born in Boston, but my formative years, I grew up in Israel.
Ah,
Um, to many generations have been there, growing up with, as Palestinians. My father was born in Palestine. My grandfather was born in Palestine. My great grandfather. And I moved there after they finished their schooling here in America because I was born here. But we left and we went there. And once I realized that I can make a choice whether to stay there or not, I kind of like I got out of there because it was very difficult to maintain this idea of it's good to die for your country in the way that it was um, instilled in us in those days. I just couldn't believe that. Why shouldn't we make peace? But anyway, that's a long story. So I'm from Israel. I'm very left of center, but there are people who are more left than I am. Um, and it's
well, I went to school with a very close, a guy that we studied together for 3 years. His name was Mohammed Isa.
hmm,
And his father, in the 40s, had a very successful clothing line in Palestine.
yes.
And I learned a lot about and became very respectful of the other side.
And now, which is the other side? I mean,
The Palestinians.
oh, because yeah, we are the other side of the Palestinians, and the Palestinians are the other side of us, and the Trumpians are on the other side of us, and we're on the other side of them. But why can't we all get along, right?
I agree. I'm Greek, just so you know.
Oh,
And I'm a civil engineer and a land surveyor. And I'd like to think that Tim, tell me, I feel like I'm the Greek or the Greek American Zorba the Greek, because I've done a lot of things.
Yasu,
Yasu.
I am
No, that's
a retired business person, and now I just do music and teaching. But a lot of that was taken away by COVID, so I'm just reinventing myself. And even this format that Artemis has invited us to join, which is so generously, is part of that reinvention.
well, I play bouzouki too.
Ah, oh yes, I play instruments. I love bouzouki.
Thank you.
I have some good friends that well, they're now in Cyprus, but yeah, bouzouki is a great instrument.
We have a bunch of other people who've joined us. Brenda, would you say hello? Anyone who's joined us. I can't see the whole gallery.
Hi.
Hi, Brenda.
Yeah, we're headed to pick up my son because his car is down. He's at anyway. So we're in the car until probably like 8 o'clock.
I was looking for you at Walden today.
Oh no, we were in Sherburne.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about that. Did you swim at Farm Lake?
Mhm.
Oh no, just Andy swam in Artemis's pool.
Ah, I actually
Yeah.
went in the water. It was amazing. It was so amazing.
What a beautiful day.
Oh my God.
Andy's here too. It's hi, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, Noam.
Much.
So Brenda and Noam, Brenda and Andy are going to lead Saturday night's discussion on called Heart to Heart. Brenda, will you say a few words about Saturday night?
Well, we're still thinking about what everything will be, but we were talking about, what we'll do, but heart-to-heart communication, and what would you say, Andy?
As an extension of nonviolent communication, and just to talk at a feeling level so that you break through defenses and everybody relaxes and is understood.
And other thoughts, Artemis, that you were thinking about that would be great for us to do? You said something about our relationship, but I didn't know if you wanted us to do something in the
Yeah,
future.
I want you to, I'm encouraging you to write a book on your relationship. What was the title you came up with?
What is the topic?
No, I think the topic is, heart-to-heart communication, right? I mean, that's maybe the name of your new book.
Right. Yes.
And what we'll do is we'll workshop these stories in our Zoom link, and then build a book. Now, Chuck Samiotis has a book that he's about finishing before Christmas, and we'll be the first readers of this book. Not just to give him feedback, but to also give him links and ideas of where to go further with his ideas. But Chuck, why don't you tell the story of your book?
So, what I love to do is I love to go out.
Use the right lane to exit right to exit 17B.
I love to go out and I love to go to functions where I have to basically sell my company or pitch an idea or get people together. And my book is called The Elevator Speech Elevated. And I think that there are techniques that aren't really, I've gone to maybe 30 elevator speech learning sessions, and I haven't found one that promotes the ideas that I feel are necessary to communicate with people and really communicate heart to heart. It's pushing back on the lack of personal interaction, which is very tough right now in the COVID situation. So that's my book. Looks like we lost Brenda.
No, will you do a reading for us one night?
Yes.
No, you didn't lose us. It's just we put it on mute so you wouldn't have to hear the GPS.
Oh.
But did you want me to respond?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Of course,
Of course. Yes.
Well, did you have a thought, Andy?
Yeah, that's great. That's another aspect of heart-to-heart communication. Terrific. We're all together.
Yes, I felt the same when I heard the title of your book and what you're really trying to promote. So,
Turn right.
no, you got to take a left.
Correct.
So Noam's going to lead us in a little drum circle tonight on Zoom. He's going to do it in a unique way. But before we do that, I want to make sure everyone's introduced themselves before we begin. And I see a handsome gentleman to my right called LLEGO Boston.
How you doing? I'm Juan Sioni. I met you at the Fenway Park at a game.
I love that. What was the game? You remember?
I don't know. I remember the game. I know we were winning. You were very happy. Something we didn't do this year.
And tell me about yourself. Like, tell me what your passion is.
My passion is basically just to be open here, I'm a police officer in Boston, and I'm also the secretary of the Boston Police Latino Officer Organization.
Mm.
My passion is how to have conversation. I think the biggest issues that we have is communicating with the public of what we do and what we feel, especially as a minority police officer.
Mm.
And a lot is lost in the communication between us and the public.
Mm.
But you know, on person to person level,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Everybody assumes that everybody's the same way and wearing a uniform and has the same feeling sometimes. And it's very shocking to me that that's, I cannot break through that. You know what I mean? I have to spend a lot of time convincing people that we are different. We all come from different background. From my accent, you know that I wasn't born here. I was born in Cuba. And it's very difficult to get through people and communicate to people and help people, basically, if they have preconceived ideas of who you are. So that's my my quest.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I really like that quest.
Wow.
Can you say your name again, please?
My name is Juan. Let me change Juan Seoane, Seoane.
Did we meet each other in the front row and you were working for the Red Sox?
I was working for Major League Baseball at the time, yes.
Yes! Oh, I wanted to talk to you for 2 years.
Yes.
Oh! Let me tell you, I have just finished a film on Cuba.
I know
And
you were supposed to call me
I
on
want
it.
you to be in. I want you to be in the next show about Major League Baseball and the bullshit of Trump as it relates to Cuban players.
Okay.
Tell the story a little bit of what's happened to Cuban players with Trump.
Hey, Artemis, if I could just, before he says that, I want to get this thought to you.
Yeah.
My best friend in Baltimore was the liaison for the Baltimore Orioles when they played that famous game in Cuba.
Yep. Okay. He probably know. Ask him if he knows Eddie Dominguez. That's my best friend here in Boston. He went to Cuba with the team from Boston. Yeah.
That was with the Orioles.
Yes. When the Orioles went to Cuba, he went as a security agent with the Major League Baseball. His name is Eddie Dominguez.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. I'm just having like hyperbolic, like excitement of. I've been wanting to talk to you since we met that night. Tell everyone what you do for Major League Baseball and your view of what's happened in the last 4 years since Obama.
Well, what I do for Major League Baseball, I'm an authenticator. I basically authenticate the items that are game used that are sold to the public to verify that they are game used, and we use a hologram. So when you purchase those items, you can track them where they were used and by who and at what game. That's what basically what I do is I sit one of the best sitting in Fenway Park and watch the whole game, and then at the end of the game, I'm going to do my job for like 20 minutes. So it's not a bad gig. My view of Trump, honestly, for the first time ever, I've been concerned about the future of America. I never thought this country would be corrupted like that. He reminds me of when I lived on the Castro, Cuba, the same mannerism, the same nepotism, the same speech. I never thought I would say this about this country. You know, we always have differences and opinions, but this guy really scared me. He's thinking, and not only his thinking, but how he has been able to make other Americans believe that that's the right way. That's the American way. And he goes against everything that I know about this country. He goes against everything that my mom brought me here with the idea what this country was about.
What year did you come here? As a child?
Yeah, I came
year?
when I was 14. I was 1983.
83. And how did your mother get out? Like, was it like immigration thing, or was it someone?
Yes, we were going to come in the Mariel boat left. We had a uncle here that brought us over there. But when you get there, the Cuban
Wow.
government will tell you how many people you will take out. And
Wow.
it didn't fit a number of a family. So my mom didn't want to break us up.
Oh my God.
And then a year later, my mom is first generation Cuban from Canary Island, Spain. Her father's last brother died, and the family was looking for us because there was a wheel in the way. And he was a pilot with Iberia Airlines, and he found us in Cuba.
Oh my
So we put
God.
him in contact with the people here, and we basically told them, if you get us out of Cuba, you can, we don't really care about the property in Spain or anything like that. We just want to get out of here. So we flew
Wow.
from, a year later, we flew from Cuba to Spain, lived there for a year. And then from there, we came to Boston because our family was here established since 1972.
Oh my God. That is extraordinary. That is extraordinary. I'm so moved.
It's an incredible
Wow.
journey. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing your story.
No, I mean, listen, I always looking for people that are willing to listen to everybody's stories. And I think we learn so much from just sharing, and sharing different struggles of people. And I think if we have a society that was more open like that, we didn't have the problems we have right now.
I agree.
I couldn't agree more about the importance of transparency. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing.
My dear, introduce yourselves. Just because I don't think everyone knows you. This woman has been my friend, and actually came to my home to fix my tile in my bathroom. And friend,
Right.
and
Yeah.
and now we're having so much fun together in a new reality. Introduce yourself, my dear.
My name is Gwen, and I am just a person. Artemis and I met because we needed to basically regrout his steam room and everything. There was a lot of work there, and we finished it. And I said that while I was working there, I felt that I really vibed with him, but I wasn't really sure how to deal with that because I had to be professional. So I asked the universe, I hope that we can meet again, that I can meet Artemis again in a place that resonates for each of us, like in that space. And I think it was like a year later or so, I went to go sit by the Peace Pacifist Memorial in Sherburne, Mass, which is a place that I went since I was a child. And this gentleman came around the corner and we started talking, and it was Artemis. So we met there, and then we kind of, just have stayed friends and stayed connected since then. And so that is basically how that happened. But overall, I'm just an artist, and I'm an astrologist, and I'm also a gardener. And I am very involved in the community here where I live in terms of showing people that they can be self-sufficient and grow their own food, and they don't have to feel powerless. And so, yeah, and it's not just within my own community. Actually, I also do work beyond my community and the Northampton organic gardens at Grow Food Northampton. And so I like donating a lot of my time there. I really love what they're doing with the Giving Garden and food insecurity. And so I'm in Northampton, Massachusetts now, and it's good here. So thanks.
And you have a 17-year-old daughter.
Yes, actually, Jocelyn is now 19. She just turned 19
Jocelyn.
October 23rd. She is a freshman at Greenfield Community College. She is studying criminology, criminal justice right now. She's also has a little part-time job at Dunkin' Donuts. And we live here together, she and I. She's my youngest. And then my oldest is 32. I was a very young mom. And he works at Dunkin' Donuts and he lives in North Amherst. And then my middle is 26 and she lives in Framingham and she works as a graphic designer and she graduated from FSU 2 years ago. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Neighbors. She and I are neighbors. That's wonderful.
Right. I know, right,
This is
right.
Now,
our
Chuck,
office.
you have to add your role in baseball history.
Mine?
Chuck, you have to explain your role in baseball history.
So I tried out for the Greek Olympic baseball team at 49 years old. Which is how I got involved with Major League Baseball, actually, and also got involved with the Orioles, the Red Sox, and I ended up, the Orioles were not happy with me because, like I said, I'm the elevator speech guy, and I was able to garner media attention like they never thought was possible. So, I've met with ambassadors and with the World Baseball Federation, everybody. And baseball's a passion of mine. And before Timmy and I got reconnected, I saw him at a baseball game walking on Fenway Park and just screamed out at him. And he screamed back immediately. So I did his septic system. That's how we got hooked up. And I think that was 95, Artemis. And we've always had a love for each other. I'll say that.
Very deep. Chuck does everything with his heart. He is a lover of people. And he also makes Greek yogurt that is, I mean, you can't even turn up the jar upside down. It doesn't go anywhere.
Wow.
And he's also, as he said, a bazooka player. And Noam, you and Chuck need to play the great Greek song. La 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 la. What's that song called, Chuck?
It's one of the themes from Zorba the Greek.
Zorba the.
It's called Strosito Stromasu.
That's what.
Make your bed for two.
Make a bed for two. All right, just hum the song, Chuck, so we all get this. This is Zorba the Greek dancing with this young man, and they basically fall in love, not sexually, but in an emotional way.
Right.
And what's the song?
That's it. And they dance together after a major failure.
Right.
So it's all about, really, Zorba had so many dreams and failures. And even when he failed, he took a positive light and started dancing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's the other thing. I am also a dancer. I'm sorry, I didn't mention that. And I'm also a writer and poet. But so
what type of dancer?
So as a child, I took creative and expressive dance. And then I took a little bit of ballet, and then I stopped for a while, and then I went back. And so then I went back and I started taking Romani belly, like belly cabaret style, Romani gypsy style. And then later on, I ended up dancing with Saeed Sultan in Cambridge, Egyptian style. I took classes with her.
So belly dancing.
Yes, yeah. Egyptian, yeah.
Egyptian belly dancing.
Yes.
So
yes.
I used to play for belly dancers at the Averoff.
Right. Okay. So my teacher, and then I moved out here, so I've had kind of a wild life, but she wanted me to go dance with her at a place in Arlington. It was a Moroccan restaurant, and I can't remember the name of it.
You sure it wasn't the Averoff in Cambridge?
No.
I met my late wife in the Averoff back in 1980.
Wow.
I might have been playing
Well, we actually came to audition.
with Ramon.
Well, yeah, and we were an Israeli group, but that's a whole other story for another time. But it seems to have so much commonality here, and I guess I think what I'm going to do, since Artemis asked me to convene something that is from the heart and not from the mind. So something more, a drum circle is something that no matter how much I've tried, cannot actually be accomplished. I have many drums over here. If you were in my house, I would give each of you a drum
Right.
and a drum. However, since
I'm ready.
we're in a virtual world,
Wow, you have a dumbback. All right. Well, I have this.
so here's the thing.
You have your zills?
I have. Yeah.
So I don't mind experimenting on something that I already know that may not translate. But so I'd like to just say a few things before I start, as we listen to Gwen. Please.
Go on.
So I run drum circles, I lead them and I facilitate them. They're more about connecting with yourself and your inner being and being true to who you are and being present at the moment, all the things we aspire to in our personal life. And earlier on in these gatherings, and we talked about politics and about the community and the country, I said that peace and harmony begins really within ourselves. So to actually be able to play together in this format because of the technology, it's not possible. First, because the platform keeps on following the player. And secondly, because every bandwidth at home has a different millisecond of delay.
Right.
And when you play short notes, like if you're gonna do something like this, that's very precise. So that's hard to do. However,
I couldn't even hear it. Okay.
really, okay. So thank you for telling me that. I'll see if I can.
I can adjust the sound here. There's an adjustment here under meeting settings.
Is this better? When?
It starts good, and then
Okay. One more try, and then we'll go to. I have many other options to.
Maybe you need to be near the microphone, closer to the microphone where your computer.
Here's another. Okay, so how about this?
Yeah, you can hear that.
Okay, so anyway, since single notes are not very possible, and after all this introduction about why the technology is not allowing this, really what the technology does allow us is, even though we are not physically together in the same space, we actually, I have to say, we are together, because our imagination, our love, our care, our need for human connection is stronger than any device. But it's nice to have a device so I can see your faces and your reactions. So what I'd like to suggest is that we do some long notes. Because when we do long notes, like this is a long note. So if you don't mind for one moment, Just take a seat in your chair. Put your feet on the ground. Feel your feet on the ground present. Your back straight. Wherever you have been, you're no longer there. And wherever you're going, ooh, you're not there yet. So we just have this here and now together. This new and young and beautiful family. As you breathe, imagine you're breathing through your feet. Your chest filling with air, your belly opens up, your shoulders relaxed. You're just here. Your mind wanders, it has its whole editorial and narration. Let it do its thing, but that's not who you are. But check in. How are you in your mind? And your heart is open. Deep breath. And we're all so happy to be together in this virtual and real space. Each of us at our home, and each of us together. How are you in your heart? In your body, feel yourself in the chair. Imagine, which is such a gift we have to be able to imagine. Imagine that your head and the crown on your head, if you had one, opens up and light from above or from below or from wherever it comes from. Your favorite color just pours in. Beautiful pours in and starts filling you in your head and your neck. Whatever color you love, it's like liquid, velvet and silk, pouring to your shoulders. And deep breath, pouring down your elbows and your hands, pouring out of your hands to the ground and down your spine and into all your beautiful, lovely self that you are inside your body with all the organs that are part of you that make you be able to live and have the joy and the appreciation and the work that you do. And wash yourself with this light and let it come down your pelvis, to your thighs and your knees, all the way to your feet and your ankles and the ground. And that light still pours in from above or from below. The above is just a vertical metaphor. It's from within. That place that you imagine yourself. How are you? And who is the one inside you that tells you how you are? It's such a great privilege and honor to be here with you. I feel so grateful. My heart is full with love and appreciation that your heart is full of love and appreciation. A deep breath. So now let's just try with our voice as we vibrate, and let your voice vibrate through your body and feel all your bones and all your limbs vibrate with this sound. You can take your volume off because one sound, and you don't have to sing if that's something that's not usual for you. That oh is one place that is. I'd love to hear you. Oh. That ongoing drone. Ooh, is the one. That's the one. Musically and also existentially. It's the ground on which we walk. We're together. That's a word from the head. Just go. How are you in your body? How are you in your heart? How are you in your mind? How are you together here, dear, dear friends? Such a pleasure, such an honor. I'm so grateful with you. I feel your gratitude in the way that I feel my gratitude.
Namaste.
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 That was beautiful, Noam.
That's very powerful.
And that was an improvisation. This was not anything planned.
I love it.
I love to improvise.
Yes, that is.
Then the things you need, you know, if you've got to grout a tile or you're going to do a septic system, I mean, you can't just improvise, okay?
Yeah, right.
But wherever you can, you should, because that opens up the imagination and opens up freedom for things to flow, and then also nourishes your creativity.
Actually, the tones that you have there are very similar to the chants of the Greek church. And also, if you listen to the mosque and things like that, it's almost universal way of relaxation, I think.
Well,
The call to prayer, yes.
Well, as Artemis knows, I was involved with the interfaith music collaborative for many, many years. And among other traditions, we had Greek Orthodox from the Hellenic College here in Boston. And I learned how to sing Ison. You know about the Ison?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God. And the way they notate their music is so ancient and so beautiful. And I have stories to share with you for another time, but I really want to thank Artemis for asking me and inviting me to have a moment of the best we can do with a drum circle here, because and I thought it actually went quite well.
Yes. Thank you for inviting me and allowing me in your circle. It's very powerful and a great experience. And I have to, hopefully we can do this again.
Yes.
And I have to go back to work right now. Sorry.
Can you send me your email?
Sure.
Because I want to interview for the film.
Sure.
All right. And your first name is Juan?
Yes.
Juan
Juan
Artemis.
Valdez.
Juan Valdez. What a name. Juan Valdez, of course.
Juan, before you leave, Juan,
Yes, sir.
you have such a beautiful face
Thank you,
and
sir.
do.
a beautiful heart. And I'm personally so happy that you joined us tonight. You never know who's going to come to these events. Artemis, I don't know how you do this, but like every night, like
I was going to say the
the
same
people
thing.
who've been here, it's like, so come back, please.
No, I will definitely will. This
And
was
Juan,
very,
we'll be in touch because
sure.
you have a very important story to tell. And now that Biden will win, there'll be a new diplomatic relationship with Cuba that will open our hearts again.
And
Just so
listen,
you know, it's 3,000 votes in Georgia right now.
okay.
What?
But listen, if Cuba opens up again, my cousin is a great musician in Cuba, and we should put a trip together to go down there and explore that.
I love that.
Where does he play?
He plays the trumpet.
Whoa!
He plays with, yeah, he plays with Angela Banda. He plays with all the recording studios, the big orchestras over there now. He's only like 24 years old, but he's unbelievable.
Yeah,
beautiful.
And his wife is a cello player. She travels with the Cuban orchestra and everything else.
Beautiful.
Juan, just so you know, I'm a product of the Boston Public Schools.
Me too.
I went to school in Seaver and Humboldt Ave.
Yes.
Wow.
That's Boston Latin Academy, right? Towns?
No,
Cleveland?
it is now. I went to Boston Tech.
Boston Tech. That's the old school. Okay.
The old memorial across from the little fire station.
Listen to this connection. 3 of my children went to the school. That is Boston Latin Academy now.
Yes, I know it is.
So 3 of them went there. They all graduated. I have 5 children. They all went to college. So they're doing better than me.
No. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Okay.
And Chuck, if you saw the seats that Juan sits in at Fenway Park, you would know that he's living the better life of all of us. The front row.
Juan, do you know who's hitting 400 lifetime at Fenway Park?
No.
Me.
All right, guys, I gotta go. Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you, Artemis.
Thank you, Juan.
Thank you,
what a pleasure.
Adios.
Nice to meet you, Juan.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
And Chuck, I want you to put out your bazooka right now and see, can you play that song? Because I want to dance.
Buzuki. Buzuki.
I don't know.
No, that's the name of the instrument. Buzuki.
No,
Right.
bazooki. It's a bazooka. It's a bazooki.
Oh, Artemis called.
Show us your instrument.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is the most beautiful guitar-like instrument you've ever seen in your life. Look at this thing.
Ooh la la.
But I can't. I'm trying to find my pick. But I was supposed to, I sent another one to Greece. It's a very ancient one made by the masters. And it's supposed to come back tomorrow, but not quite. So, but, we have to get, is it Guinevere?
Cannot hear you. What?
You can just call her Gwen.
Oh, sorry, Guinevere.
Guinevere. I love the Guinevere.
So why don't we have
Guinevere.
dance?
Wow.
pa 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 pum pi ka shum pa ta ka ta dum ding ka cha. Da, da. Chumbi gam dumbi chak ta dumbi dam ba dam dum dim chak raka dumbi dam
So
ba dam.
that's a typical Chiftatelli dance.
Shiftateli, ya habibi, shiftateli,
Ya
yes.
Habibi Yaleli.
Yes.
Oh, you know. I just dance. I don't know if I know that dance.
Kachum kacha rum tum pa chika tum tum ta da rum puta katan te tirin dum pu pa chikara te tarin de ta tirin da 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 da. Artemis, your hands out like this. Da 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 da. You can put in the forehead if you want. Yeah. So Brenda, don't try that in your car. That don't dance. But wow, Yasu, Chuck. What is your Greek name? What's your first Greek name? Chuck?
Konstantinos.
Konstantinos.
Yes.
Oh, that's much better. That suits you much better. Konstantinos.
I'm gonna call you Constantine from now on, Chuck. No more.
You know who
Chuck.
Konstantinos was?
Yeah, the Constantine, yes.
We're almost
Constantinople.
home.
King Constantine, who saved the church with his mother, Saint Helen.
And that's why Istanbul was called Constantinople.
Right.
Constantinople.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Roman emperor that took the capital of the Roman Empire from Rome to Turkey, to Constantinople.
Yeah. I was in Turkey with 12 Greek Orthodox cantors from Saloniki in 2010 in concert to celebrate the songs of the city from all the traditions that ever lived there. Greek, Jewish, Sufi, Turkish, and it was it was a multi-cultural event in an outdoor amphitheater, and all the Greek cantors, which are dear friends, had to leave on Saturday night. They came on Friday because all the churches in Saloniki would have not had a cantor if they stayed. But they came and they sang. Oh my God.
Wow.
Beautiful. And and then of course there's a whole 350-year tradition of Jewish music of Turkey that I didn't even know about until my Muslim friend Mehmet Ali Sanikol, who's quite he's now the head of the history department at the NEC. He started this collaborative called Dunya, which means world, so, you know.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, when you talk about Greek music and you talk about these songs, you talk about Greek Orthodox, devotion is universal. That place that I went, oh, every religion does that in some way or the other.
Exactly.
Some of them more pronounced than the other. Some of it in this way or the other. But the bottom line, that's about the one. All is one.
Right.
Not that's many.
Yeah.
And that's why it connects with like mindfulness and feet on the ground, because that's what allows us to be our best version of ourselves. And imagine 350 million people that are the best versions of themselves coming together to elect a president instead of what we're going through now, which is like, excuse my language, but a bleep show.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So I hope somehow with this epic democracy, we get to find a way to connect with the other, which is us.
Right.
Right.
Right. not
That's
the other.
Even though we them, we other them, we say them, but
Right.
they're us too. And what can we really do? What is the common denominator? That's a tall order, not for this discussion.
Mm.
We all I know already, everybody on this call is contributing to a solution one way or the other. So
Mhm.
Artemis, thank you for convening such a beautiful space.
Mm. We're just
Thank you,
beginning.
and thank you. That was beautiful.
Yes.
Chuck, thank you. Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to both of you, but I'm also speaking to Noam right
Oh.
now. To what you just said, that was very nice. Thank you.
Mhm.
And Chuck,
Mm.
thank you for,
Thank you, Guinevere.
yes.
It's
Can you play more music, Chuck? Just do another couple songs, and we'll just meditate with you.
Well, at the beginning of the old type songs, my family's from Asia Minor, from Smyrna, just outside. And the old songs that really portrayed that music had a almost chant at the beginning before the music started called an amane.
Ah,
And that's how it sort of started. So actually what I'll play now is a Turkish song.
Hey. Love it.
Now,
Thank you.
Amane. Where's the Amane?
oh, I'm not a good singer, but I want Timmy to sing the next song. You ready, Timmy?
I'm ready. Let's go. Out to the park. I'm donkey nuts and crack.
Right. The only problem is with Zoom, and we try to do this in the band, is only one person can be heard at the same time.
So how about here's how here we can work it out. You go bum pa dee 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 dum dum, and then Timmy goes dum pa dee 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 dum, and you go pee pa pa da pa pa pee 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 da, and he goes so you switch. That's the only. Okay. Minutes 1, 2.
I haven't played in 6 months, just so you know.
Bravo.
It's funny. You should say that was great.
I wanted to hear more about that Aeon, the chanting before. What did you call it?
No, it's called an amane. I can email you some.
No, but is Amane like just like a drone?
No. So what it is it's sort of a little precursor to the song.
A taksim.
It's like it's a taksim, which I played before. You heard the taksim.
I heard the taksim.
And
a taksim is an improvisational entry to in Middle Eastern.
Right. It's a vocal entrance to a song like a taksim.
And okay. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so by the time you were starting to play, you're all primed up. By the
So, like there's one song that's sort of saying the woes of this guy, and the name of the song it translated roughly is, "Do you want me to die?
wow.
What have I done to you?"
Oh my God.
Okay, I don't have, um, I don't have a palace. I don't have any money.
Mm.
Do you want me to die?
Well, oh,
Wow.
I only love you. Is that enough
But
for you?
the Taksims, the Yamaneh is a very heavy, deep, typically sad because these people left when Smyrna was burning.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
have my papers from my aunt who left literally 3 days before the burning of Smyrna. I still have her booking papers on her on her boat trip to the United States.
Konstantin,
Wow.
I'm gonna ask you for something, Konstantin. With Artemis's okay, and you can always refuse. Can you, even though you're not a good singer, so you say, give us a little bit of a sample? And I'm very, very intuitive. Uh, le- le- le-
Κάνει και με βλέπεις να πεθάνω. Θέλεις να πεθάνω. And then the music would start up. Right.
Beautiful. And that's how short it is?
It can be longer, but what it is it's almost a lost art these days.
Amane. I have to look it up.
Amane.
Yeah, send, maybe you put something in the chat or.
So I think what I'm getting is like it's almost like it's literally just like this is the story, this is the feel, and
It's
now
expression
we're
in the
gonna
tone of
express
the
it.
song.
What?
It sets up the expression and the tone of the
Right.
song.
And also the scale, the makam.
And the scale, right?
So our scales generally are taken. They were taught to us in Turkish.
Right, the makam.
Uzak, Hijaz.
Hijaz. Oh, we have Hijaz in our.
Right.
I'm a little bit hoarse, so.
Okay.
But man, gee, Konstantin, such a pleasure to meet you, man.
So if it wasn't COVID,
I love
And Gwen has been here like a few nights. Brenda has been here for a few nights.
Yeah.
Tim
so
has
if
been here
COVID,
every night.
If just joined.
COVID wasn't here right now, the first Monday of every week would be at Andrea's Pizza in Watertown doing open mic night.
Where's that?
I love that. Let's do open mic here. Let's do open mic night here.
Open mic night in
Yeah, let's do a drum circle. Like,
on Auburn Street in Watertown.
in the church?
No. Andrea's Pizza. It's a little dive.
Oh, yeah. No. Is it closer to Arax and Savan and Massis?
It's right across the street from the diner.
Yeah, well, Savan and Arak and Massis, all the great foods that you miss from the homeland stores are right there, across, like near the diner.
Or Sophia's.
Sophia's, what yogurt she makes. I actually make yogurt myself. That's another thing you should know about me. In my bio, I mean, who puts yogurt maker in their bio? I don't put, but maybe I should. Tim asked me for my bio. My bio changes every day.
So I make yogurt too. I make it with raw cow's milk and raw goat's milk.
And who gave you the starter, man? Where's the starter?
I got it from Sophia.
Yeah. Sophia.
No.
Yeah.
You can unpasteurized.
I use unpasteurized milk.
Okay.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
I used to be able to get it at Eastleigh Farms in Framingham on the back roads there. There was Eastleigh Farms where the pulled Herefords were. I don't know if it's still doing
Wow.
cows,
No,
but
Well, but
I
you
go
know,
to
maybe,
I go to Holliston for my goat's milk, and I go to Millis or Mendon, excuse me, Mendon for my cow's milk. It's all organic
so
and all.
is your starter now, would you call it another generation than Sophia's starter? Or do you always go back to her? Or do you have something you already created that's your own starter? We can call it
starter really,
Konstantin's starter.
once it gets going, it really takes on the profile of the milk that you're using.
And also the temperature and how much love, and the bacteria work all night.
Right. Well, what I do is I have a commercial warming oven in my garage.
Oh, you fancy schmancy.
Yeah, so I can keep things at 109, 110.
Oh, I have to really play with the hot and cold and the temperature.
No,
I'm not such professional like you.
set it
But
and forget it.
my yogurt is really good, I have to say.
What's that?
My yogurt is from Persian origins.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
Hi, Barbara. Brenda. She's not in. Gwen. It's Guinevere. Not couldn't hear. Oh, there you are. Hi, Brenda.
Hello.
Oh,
Hi.
wow. Okay, hold on. Can you transport it over here, please?
yeah, I see.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, I want you to know I'm eating Alexandra's garlic mashed potatoes from our garden.
Well, that is
We have abundance.
beautiful.
They're just potatoes cooked in water with garlic mashed in.
Wow. It's almost like scordalia.
So
Mm.
Yeah. So how's Alexandra?
Oh my God, she's so happy. We're gonna go to see Gwen tomorrow.
Really?
And can't
Yeah.
wait.
Oh, well, I'd like to go and see Gwen too.
Yeah. Come.
they're coming out tomorrow.
We're gonna meet at a friend of mine's bakery called the Hungry Ghost.
Yes.
And then Gwen's gonna take us on a tour of all the farms and all her friends, and we're gonna go to
So,
food
you know,
co-op.
which is interesting because, right now we're talking about fermentation. And of course, that is like the most important thing about making bread is the yeast and the live culture.
Mm.
Did I put more light?
Wow. Well, Artemis,
Yes, my brother.
next time you go to visit Brenda, next time you're going to visit Guinevere, and she's going to take you to all these exotic and unique and intentional farms. Would you invite me to?
Yes, you're invited tomorrow, 2 o'clock.
Yeah. You can come anytime.
Come on.
What time are you going tomorrow? I have to take
We're
a
leaving here at noon.
Okay, I will think about that. We did talk about.
Concord. Pick you up in Concord.
Okay, wow. This epic democracy is, you know why it's important, Artemis, Tim? It's because of and you laid a context to it earlier on when we had all these experts talking about cults and emotions and intellect and what drives us with its that we are a democracy is not something that starts in a nation. That's an end result. A democracy is something that starts inside of you.
Yes.
You first have to be self-democratic with your own disparate parts.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the first job, okay? We did a little bit chanting and all that. We play music and all that. It roots us in our tradition. If we are affiliated with identification and all that, wow. But then it goes to like you and one more person. Maybe it's a daughter, a son, a friend, or a wife. But that's democracy too. And what's a democratic rule? What's a democratic principle? So this whole thing about the coins is like, I mean, I, offline at some point. I'd love to talk about this more because I'm so. I just have to say one thing that's relevant to this election right now because we are actually comforting ourselves with what's going on. It's. I am so disappointed we didn't have a landslide. I am like I so wished that we would rebuke everything that happened and that we could let the world know that we are just we don't agree with what happened in 4 years, and we actually are against it. But look what happened.
Right.
It's so close again, and I'm saying, oh, okay, that's we have so much work to do.
Well,
We do.
CNN is
And I'm ready to do the work, man.
CNN is reporting that Biden is on the brink of winning.
But even if that's better than not. But what this told us is we're divided so.
We are divided, but he could also get up to 300.
Yeah.
So
Chuck, before we leave tonight, I want you to read a paragraph of your book. I want you to open your book to page 200 and just read whatever the hell is there.
all right.
All right. While Chuck is getting our book, Noam, we have very good news. Guinevere is going to lead Monday night, and we're going to do poetry, astrology, and self. Or what's the words? What's the words, Guinevere?
We're going to do a little bit of karmic astrology for people if they feel stuck on something, if there's any repeating pattern that's happening, anything like that. You know, I can pinpoint that pretty much in the chart. If anyone is curious about what their true purpose here, I can sort of give a little insight very quickly. And then also the other thing that is really enlightening is the way that our astrology works in family lines. So our imprints, the way it happens in the family lines. So like, you know, I'll give an example is that I'm a Libra with my moon in Scorpio, and my daughter's father is also a Libra with his moon in Scorpio. We were born 12 hours apart on the same year. And then I gave birth to Jocelyn, and Jocelyn is 0 degrees Libra Scorpio, right on the cusp. And her moon is in Capricorn, which is my rising sign. So, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Her moon is in Capricorn. The moon represents the mother. And so even though her moon doesn't show up as a moon in Libra, it shows up as a moon in Capricorn. And then my other daughter has her moon in Libra.
Gwen, may I ask you a question, please? I really want to join that poetry night. I have to check my calendar because I have a dinner, outdoor dinner thing. But for the lay people among us that don't know astrology as much as you do, can you just explain to us what you just said about your first daughter? And what it means? What did you really say in everyday parlance? Like, you know, just tell us what you just said from your heart, please.
Okay. So like basically, you know, when people come together, they come together for a reason. And sometimes people want to understand that. And so, you know, it could be that the reason why her dad and I came together was to create her. I guess what I'm saying is like, she ends up being a perfect blend of me and her dad in terms of the placements in her chart and how we impress upon her. I don't know if that helps or not.
No, and how does that describe you as a mother?
Can I add something? I'm a beginner in this, so I can explain it as a beginner would.
Okay.
But what really the theory is, and I've seen it now in my own life, is that when you're born, you have kind of an astrological imprint. not only do you have 23 chromosomes from each parent, but you literally come from cosmic dust. And
Yes.
you come from the stars. And that, in some ways, fixes you as a certain kind of personality, let's say.
Yeah.
Now, every moon is different, and all your different signs relation are different. So one thing we're going to do Monday is we're going to have a program where you can put in your birth date and your time of birth, and you put in your mother's birth date and time of birth, and then you do a relational chart and say, oh, that's really interesting. I never knew that about my mother. So we're going to facilitate for everyone to do a chart of themselves in relation to someone that they want to learn about. And it could even be do a chart in relation to Artemis. And we'll
Right.
see the uniformity, whatever it is. So we learn.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank
you
you.
know,
Thank you
here's
for
the thing is like, what brings people together? Why do things happen in the world? A lot of times it just doesn't make sense. And so, like, my first approach as a child was to begin just studying astrology. Somehow I found out about that. And I've seen patterns over the last 30 years that I've studied people's charts. And eventually you start seeing the same thing over and over again. And it's hard to like say, oh, this is, people call it a pseudoscience. That's fine. But it works. And so it's kind of like, I'm not sure if you have had the experience of knowing whether or not you've come from a past life or not, or if you believe in that, or if you believe that when you're born, there are some things that come through. It's almost like this leftover genetic material, but it's quantum and it's energetic. And so I can kind of discern that a lot of times in the chart and how that has an impact. And if you want to have a little more understanding of it, it's very complicated what I do. But if you have ever heard of the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd, Richard Rudd has developed a system that involves a whole formula of an admixture of ancient studies like the I Ching and Western and other types of astrology. Astrology is practiced in different ways in different cultures. And then he has combined that into a sort of a system that is very cosmic. And it really does, it has been able to help me with my astrology. Although his formula is a mystery. He probably will never reveal how he arrives at that. But I don't know.
So I was married to a woman who, for 30 years, who was very, very familiar with astrology. And the reason why I answered the question is not because I don't understand the principle of astrology, but because whenever we go to a doctrine, I like to say the universe provides and life unfolds as it should.
Yes.
That's my saying.
Yeah.
When my wife of 8 years died suddenly, like after she wasn't supposed to die, and she just died from an aneurysm at 2 o'clock in the morning. She was young. It was like such a shock. Artemis knows. That's the first thing that came out of my mind.
Wow.
So the reason why I say this is because there's all these points of knowledge and information that are both in our heart, mostly driven there, but also sometimes we we tend to get into our head sometimes overly. It's a place of confidence and security, and like rationality is like gives us like comfort.
Right.
I think yeah.
Oh, I can totally agree with that.
Yeah. And what I like about this epic democracy that starts with each of us individually and goes to like 1 on 2 and 1 on 3 and 1 on 4 and 1 on 5 and 1 of a family and 1 of a village and 1 of a community and 1 of a town and 1 of a state and 1 of a country and 1 of a world is that we get to tell our story not only from the information that we know, but from our heart. And that's my life. That's my life. That's my life mission, to have the heart talk. And I know, whenever your heart speaks volumes. Patrick,
Hello,
we were just talking about love. I mean, in case you wanted to be updated about. In
In case you want to watch what's going on CNN, we're not talking about that. But we are talking about what's bigger than all that, which is really our purpose in life. Why are we here? And you don't know this news, Patrick, but Guinevere is going to lead on Monday night a session on astrology and poetry and love. And I want to include your brother, Jonathan Crowley, who you will love, Guinevere. He's one of my best other friends. He is Patrick's twin brother. And he is the one who's taught me how to go into the astrology.com and put in your date and put another person's date in and say, all right, what's going on here?
Wow.
and he loves astrology. He can't help himself. He gets very into sidereal astrology and Vedic astrology.
Oh yeah, Jyotish. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Okay.
Jyotish. Yeah, I know about Jyotish quite a bit.
Okay.
And Mars and the Rao, you know, I mean, like, wow, the Rao. But hey, Patrick, how was your contact improvisation evening?
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was amazing. I got to move and dance and interact with all my group. I've been meeting in a group for over 10 years on Thursday night. And, and with this group of people, and, some people have come and gone, but some have stayed the whole time. And it was a group with kind of I jokingly call the prime minister of contact improvisation. She was Smith, who really has been the one who's spread, Steve Paxton invented contact, and then Nancy spread it all over the world. And by publishing her magazine, Contact Quarterly, for 40 years, and by teaching every year. She's taught every single year, but then she got cancer, and then she died, unfortunately, on May 1st. So we're all...
This year?
Yeah.
Was she from Northampton? Oh, was she?
She lives in Florence, yes.
Oh, okay.
We have been praising improvisation tonight. Konstantin, who up on the left side of the screen, a book writer, a friend of Artemis for a while, and a bouzouki player, talked about the helping out Anawa. I want the intro, the taksim that the women do.
Amaneh.
Amaneh. Amaneh is an improvisational introduction to a musical piece. I did a drum circle earlier today, which I had no idea what I was going to do before, but it was all driven by the need to connect with heart and to do whatever the technology could offer, with Brenda and Andy and Guinevere and Artemis. And I thought about you when I talked about improvisation. And for me, it's not only about the contact. Contact is so important. You gotta contact, but it's also about the improvisation. And the improvisation is what allows imagination to flourish. I think our biggest organ in our body, imagination, and our creativity to flourish. So the contact is a place where two become one. Patrick, I mean, like, you do it physically. You are, I mean, the most physical expression of improvisation from all of us. And I remember in your wedding, you had a whole group of people contact improvising next to you at the most ceremonial highlight of the matrimony. And
Right.
it was like that was the contact. So the point I'm making is improv, and the improv, just to kind of throw it back to what you talked about last night so beautifully, Patrick, is your Republican friend that you talked to,
Yes.
and that conversation you had. I want to hear much more about that because I think this we gotta heal this nation. And even if Biden wins, okay, but look, it's not a landslide. So what do we do with all the ones who are different and thinking
Yeah.
different? Are they all crazy, or are we?
There's a lot of sick and angry people on the far right.
Yeah.
By the way, there's someone. Everyone should mute unless you're talking because I hear like a tea kettle bursting.
That's me. I'm sorry. It's my old.
All right, there you go. Oh my God. Okay.
So
Don't mute yourself. I mean, talk. We'll now know that it's just going to be the background noise. But Chuck, go ahead, my brother. By the way, Chuck is now Constantine. He's no
Noam.
longer
Yes.
Chuck.
Yes.
Constantinos.
Constantine Samiotis.
Yeah, I agree. Constantine.
What's
Go ahead,
Constantine.
Constantine.
Constantinos? So what's
Constantine. Oh, that's even better. Constantine.
Constantinos.
Can I
Constantinos. Oh, Mochi.
as in Sardinia?
Ooh.
Oh, Samitos.
Samiotis.
Samiotis.
Samiotis. Konstantinos Samiotis.
I want to say something about my experience in Turkey because my mother is a very famous archaeologist that did her PhD in a place called Aphrodisias, which is 4 hours north of Izmir. And Smyrna, is Smyrna the name for Izmir?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's where my relatives come from.
Oh my God. So,
Oh.
you know, my grandparents rescued Jews during the Holocaust. And they're honored at a place called Yad Vashem in Israel.
Oh, Yad Vashem, yeah.
And
in the name.
yeah, and I wanted to honor the Turkish people that saved Armenians. The Turkish people that saved Armenians, that not killed them. And we've identified 50 Turkish people who saved Armenians in the same way, like they are righteous.
Wow.
And I also brought this project to probably the most famous Armenian in the world, one of the famous ones, and his wife, actors in this domain. And one thing I really learned is that the Armenian people are hungry for forgiveness. They are hungry to let go of this history. But the Turkish country has never honored and acknowledged what they did in 1915.
Yeah.
And that is something that I still want to work on with you, Chuck, if you're interested.
Well, not only that, but Erdogan is raping, and the Armenians and the Greeks are very tight. And Erdogan is going back to the days of Mustafa Kemal. And you know something? I used to watch Rick, whatever his name is, on Channel 2 with the travel show until he said Kemal Ataturk was a hero that brought democracy to Turkey. So
he brought secularism.
One of my clients, and I don't know if he's still at, he's the president of the Armenian Museum in Watertown, Tim.
Wow. Wow. So, Konstantinos.
I want to talk to him because I think this is unfinished business for America. We know what happened. And the evidence is so clear. And the fact that we have not forced Turkey as our ally, whatever the hell that means, to honor the dead of this atrocity,
No.
a long time ago. It's more than 100 years. Enough is enough. We have to.
The
we have
word, the word that the Armenians are looking for is recognition of genocide. That's the word that they're looking for. They need to hear that it was genocide, and there's no recognition of that. But that's only one problem we have in America. And like I don't even know, Artemis, how are we going to address all the issues and like make this a better world? Artemis. Love.
More love. If we bring more
love
to everyone we know in every
more
way,
love, man. More love.
And we can't be perfect lovers. We can't be perfect loves. We can be ourselves. I am all about transparency and being completely authentic, because I would rather you love the real Artemis at every given moment than the pretend Artemis that's trying to impress you. But to get to that place, it's actually pretty hard to do, because you have to trust yourself as an authentic being. And that's what most of the world doesn't have a chance to ever have as children.
Oh man, come on. Now you're talking my language. So that's a big challenge. So there's some practical steps to take. And also, I mean, at the least, we should keep each other company and comfort each other about all the places we missed the mark. At the best, let us make a difference. Let us actually make a change. Let us actually unite and stop othering. Because it's so easy to other.
Right. And it shows ignorance. When you other someone, you're just showing your ignorance. Any kind of prejudice is pure ignorance. Not ignorance only of intelligence, but ignorance about your own humanity. Because you are the same basic being as that other being, whatever their skin color is, or they have a nose in their ear, or four eardrums, or whatever the hell it is. And within that context, I want to make sure that Brenda and Andy get a chance to introduce themselves to everyone, because they're going to lead on Saturday night a very exciting program called Heart to Heart Communication. And I would love Andy and Brenda to talk a little bit about what that means to you and kind of the things we're going to talk about.
Well, the way I'm thinking about it is how can we find the humanity and touch the heart and relieve the pain of, let's say it's a Republican who's really angry that, about something, about anything. It's not so much about political issues, it's about personal feelings. So if somebody is angry and upset in an emotional state, how do you talk to them and listen to them in such a way that they feel heard and accepted, and then even cared for, and then want to tell you more? And so we're going to go over a simple technique of how do you find out what is behind someone's attack language? Where is their pain, and what would they rather have had happen? What is it their complaint is about? And so then really, what is their hope? They were hoping for something better. It didn't happen. Now they're ticked. Let's get back in touch with what they were hoping for. And then they say, oh, this person really cares about what I really care about. Wow, I like this. I'm going to say some more. So yeah, there's that quote from Carl Rogers, I guess, that, you never feel so good except when you've been completely listened to and understood. And so we're going to focus on that. And I don't know how we'll do it because I haven't really done it in
20 years.
20 years. But
you're going to do it so well.
What did you do 20 years ago?
It was perfect that Artemis asked me to do it.
What did you do
because
20 years ago?
The time is right. What did I do 20 years ago?
You wrote a book.
20 years ago.
Yeah, I wrote a book called Creating Harmonious Relationships, and it's about true empathy, which is really finding that that love pulse at another person.
Well, Andy, what you said a little earlier, I was with you a little earlier, and just about asking questions. So somebody comes at you with anger, and you ask questions. But something else you said reminded me, I have an 8-year-old, and I'm unschooling her, and I'm in all of this uh, ethic of parenting, of validating and empathizing and learning. And one of the ideas is, of course, if your child comes at you with they're very upset, usually they're not upset at the thing that's happening. They're upset about something else. And so you have to hold space for what this deeper thing is. And you were kind of alluding to that in what you said, in dealing with adults, that they come at you with this angry energy, but actually you have to go beneath the surface. And I like that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I like, if, with a child, they come at you, they're screaming, they're shouting, they're angry. You don't try to address what they're talking about. You pick them up and pull them on your lap and hug them. That's what you want.
I was already on another Zoom, so my child is fed up with me not being with her. So I'm afraid that I actually have to go.
Understood.
Okay. We're sure you will be empathic with your daughter.
Give her our love.
Patrick,
Yes.
thank you for jumping on, man.
Thanks for stopping in.
I will do a little last dance for you from.
Right. There we go.
Little 3. All right, lovely to be with all of you. Mwah.
Mwah.
Patrick.
Thank you.
Sure.
Patrick is very much like the St. Patrick he's named after. He chases snakes away with love.
He's a beautiful man.
Beautiful man. And you two have been friends for so long. I love that.
God,
we're
have
in
history.
circle.
Noam, how did you and Patrick meet?
We met by my hands being all over his body and his wife's body, and I do body work and massage.
He let us connect with inner places within us that were deeper than we ever imagined, and yet were our goal to arrive at. So with his hands, he opened channels and he still does.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Right?
When Noam's wife died, Patrick and I were very much connected to Noam, and we had a circle together. And I have to say, we have to do an anniversary of her life.
Yeah.
Because she was one of my best friends as well. I loved her. This is a woman, Chuck, that taught at MIT in the Sloan School. But she was all about entrepreneurship, social impact. And Gwen Barry, you and Florence would have loved each other, and Brenda.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. She died 8 years ago, 2 weeks ago. 8 years, can you believe it? Yeah. But here I am.
An extraordinary.
Yes.
That was in 2013?
Say it again, Patrick.
Oh, no.
I was just saying, an extraordinary woman and a shaman, and quintessentially just her archetype. She was a business woman of the soul. Her soul archetype was just this warrior leader businesswoman, and it was so incredible to see. So anything she did was just extraordinary.
And besides having Patrick to let her reach her fetish animal in first people Torah knowledge. She also, was open to so many other ways of thinking. So, and she died like this. So we can all die like this. And the idea is that every moment is precious.
Right?
What?
What a lovely way to go. She died in her sleep, right?
She went without, no, she didn't suffer at all. She,
Right.
I suffered a lot, but she didn't
Of course.
suffer at all. Patrick,
All
thank
right.
whoever asked the
Yes.
question about how we met. Thank you for that question.
Yes. Good night, everyone.
Right.
Bye.
Patrick.
Name, Patrick.
Mm.
Now that we got love, what are we gonna do?
Brenda,
Gwen,
will you,
Gwen,
introduce,
Gwen,
will you
Gwen,
introduce yourself to Constantine here? And just talk a little about your passion about heart-to-heart communication.
And community
Yeah.
building.
Well, so I'm Brenda, and I've known Artemis for many years. We can't remember how many years ago, but through mutual friends and heart-to-heart communication. Well, we've been doing a something called a small group ministry through the UU Church, where we go, and we started. I've been in a group with 7 other women for 34 years, and then I was in another group in Lincoln with 7 other people. There were 4 men and 4 women, and so when the pandemic hit, the church was, and it's in Waltham, by the way, right in your town, Noam. You know, I joined a pastoral care team because we were thinking, how do we reach out and keep people connected, because we can't see them, we can't have church, you know, and all of this. So Andy and I started small group ministry and at our church, and it's about ministering to each other, and you know, which is attending to each other. And the whole idea is about communicating from the heart and sharing deeply, and that the whole idea is that there's no greater longing than to really share deeply and connect with one another, who you are, and connect with who they are. And so it's been really very nice for us to be able to create it. So every twice a month we do these groups. I facilitate the Sunday group, and Andy facilitates the Monday group, and we work with each other. And so this week we planned, our topic is healing ourselves and our country. And so it's all about healing.
Healing.
And the whole thing about the groups is through deep sharing and deep listening. So
Do you do that on Zoom?
Yes, because
with the UU Church?
Yes.
I like the UU Church. I from time to time I go to the one on Church Street in Cambridge.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're Church Street in Waltham.
Yes.
Ah, really?
Yeah, right near.
So please share. But what Saturday night? What time? 7 to 9?
No. We do.
No. For us, when are you going to give us all your wisdom?
Saturday, 7 to 9.
I have, you know, Artemis, I want to cancel everything else I have on my calendar because this is so fun and so great. But I have other things going. I don't know what to do. Like,
well, maybe we have to change the time.
No, not for me. No.
Well,
I will try to cancel some of my engagements.
Bring them here. Bring them to us. That's what I asked Brenda and Andy to do, is have us join in their ministry, and we'll be part of her and Andy's ministry on Sunday and Mondays.
Well, actually, we'll do it on Saturday. We we can't have other people join because it's a small group and it's intended to be a small group. And we're actually at the max. We had so much response that,
Wow.
Are you saying that you have already a group of people who trust you in a certain environment of love and trust and belief and hope, that introducing new group of people may not be, why can't we join, for instance?
well, you know what? We can start a group. And, that could be like what we do on
But
Saturday.
that's how we change the world. If we join all the other groups that are like, like that are missing the mark and like voting for Trump. Not
we should join.
not by saying they're wrong,
Can we join Proud
but
Boys?
sharing the love, sharing the love.
What'd you say, Gwen?
We could join the Proud Boys.
Oh,
Proud
no.
Boys.
Just sort of
What?
infiltrate.
We could Zoom bomb them.
Oh my God! What would we Zoom bomb them with? Not with potato
love.
chips and a big belly.
And be like, we love you.
Yeah.
We love
Oh
you.
my God! With love.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that my way of communicating and what I really try to do before when I do my elevator speech is I really try to actually avoid the subject that I really want to talk about and try to get to a point with you have to find that one place of commonality between both of you. And once you do that, you relax them. And once you relax them, then you can start to really have, part of your agenda discussed or part of,
Right.
the only way that you can, that's my method of communication.
Yeah.
And that's what I really try to do best. I try, and it's kind of funny. What I'm writing right now is about practice every day, your communication. And how do I do that? I do that when I go into the convenience store. I talk with the clerk. I find a commonality with that clerk. And one time, I got to tell you this one story that's going in the book, is I was with my brother-in-law, and I go up to a lady that was at the cashier, and she was Arabic. And I says, so where are you from? She goes, you will never guess this. I says, I bet you I know. She goes, where? I says, Algeria. And I was right. And my brother looked at me like I was an idiot savant.
How did you know that?
It was really, well, I really pride myself on trying to figure out. And one of the first questions I asked you is where you were from, right?
Yeah.
And I could have guessed Israel, actually, by your, but I thought you were Israeli as opposed to being Palestinian. That I missed that part of it.
I am both.
Okay. Well, I picked up the Israeli part, but I didn't pick up the Palestinian part. But I had interviewed an Algerian couple for a rental property that I own in East Boston, like about 3 weeks before, and I remembered the accent.
That's great.
But you have to.
Like, it's like Slumdog Millionaire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That movie.
Andy, I can tell you're from East Boston.
Well, I was born in Boston, grew up in Newton, but that's good. Once I was in Detroit sitting at a bar and a guy said, just overhearing me talk, he said, you're from a western suburb of Boston, aren't you? I was stunned, but he was just a master of recognizing accents.
Wow. And it's the little things that comfort people that allow you to get back, allow you to get in with them and allow you to connect. So Noam, immediately what I did when, I went and got my doom bag.
Yeah, I saw.
Yes.
And the belly dancing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very out of practice. I mean, I don't think I've danced really much at all. And then the other part of it is that I went ahead and started the study of African dance when I got here. and Duncan. So I was taking Duncan and African, New Guinea style West African dance. And
Wow.
so it was very hard to break out of my old, sort of habits and make it just, just more
Mm.
of something
Well,
else.
the best belly dancer I ever saw was Egyptian, and I was only 14 years old when I saw her, and it was amazing. So that was 50 years ago, and I still remember her dance.
Yeah.
I do too. I saw an Egyptian belly dancer on a felucca on the Nile, and she was absolutely stunning. And that was
Wow.
1971
Wow.
Yeah.
on a felucca.
I studied.
And I wanted you to know that I grew up in the Middle East and I was around belly dancers all the time. But the most amazing thing is we had a nanny that took care of my kids for 27 years. And she was the top belly dancer in Boston.
Wow.
And you can look her up. Her name is Najmet. And she used to do just dances for women because belly dancing is not this sexualized thing that we associate in movies.
That's right. That is right.
It's a birthing experience for women who are learning to undulate and give birth, basically.
Wow.
And patriarchy does bad things to women on every front. But belly dancing,
don't start with that. Yeah, every front.
Yeah, and belly dancers is among the worst because belly dancers originally were just for women with women around childbirth.
Wow.
Wow. I actually did not know that.
Yeah.
I like the whole idea of moving from Egyptian to African and African to Egyptian and having Konstantinos on this call for the first time. I mean, for me, and Guinevra I've been with, and Brenda and Andy, and you, Artemis, man. You got an epic channel going over here, and who knows what's going to happen with it, but let's keep it going.
What you're going to lead, I would like you to lead with Patrick on body awareness and meditation and chanting on Wednesday, if that's good for you.
I will check with my people in my calendar.
Okay.
I wanted to say that earlier tonight, maybe, first of all, like Konstantinos.
Yes, I'm listening.
And Brenda and Andy and Artemis and Guinevra. Last night, I wanted to say all our names. We were about 10, or a bit more. And I said, I didn't get to say all the names, but it's nice to call people's names out. Because when you call somebody's name out, there's something about their name that is part of their identity, and you recognize them.
Beautiful.
I'm sure that all of us understand this in our own way. So, Guinevra, I saw an instrument in your hand, and you held it. You held it.
Yes.
For a while, and you didn't play it. So, I mean, if Artemis is okay with that, I would like to ask Guinevra to play what she picked up earlier. And it doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be maestro, beautiful, amazing, but just play why you picked up the instrument.
Well, I'm feeling inspired. And, I think a lot of us are like, wow, like I heard Chuck say, he hasn't played his instrument in 6 months.
Yeah, I just, without the band and the people that I play with, it's almost like a lost child.
Yeah. I think so many musicians right now are going through that. I have so many musician friends, and I'm also just kind of a little bit of a musician myself. And it's been really hard. We were talking about open mic nights. So when I moved here, one of the ways that I would socialize was I would go to open mic night on Tuesday nights. And over the last 3 years, I picked up the guitar out of necessity. I felt like I needed the vibrations. I've also always wanted to learn how to play. So I was playing with a group of musicians in Braintree at the time, I played the keyboards. And I was also doing open mic nights in Quincy at a place called Pete's Bar and Grill, which was an open jam with a lot of funk. And I would dance. They loved my dancing, so I would dance at that. And then here, when I moved here later, I found new groups of musicians to play with. But so when I moved here, my first experience on stage with my guitar was on Tuesday night at open mic nights, but it's been a while.
So before you go on and play, because I heard all these disclaimers, and I'm sure you can play something. I with your permission, Artemis, I'd like to welcome Joseph to our group. I mean, like, welcome back. Last night you were with us. It's so good to have you back. We're about to sign off. It's 8:55.
Yeah, I thought I'd just say hello very briefly. I knew you were about to sign off, but I thought I'd just say hi very briefly.
Yeah, no, we're really happy you came to visit. You had wonderful things to say last night.
Well,
yeah, share from your heart, Joseph, right now. What's in your heart right now? And just say a little bit about you, who you are.
And you can show your video or just be like.
Actually, I'm running around right now, racing to get out the door. So I'm about to jump in my truck to go pick up my wife.
No video.
So video will probably make you nauseous.
Motion.
Okay, just audio then.
Well, as you know, I'm in Canada, Canada. Well, I don't know. I've just been thinking a lot about the other side. You know, that other 50% of the United States, and you know, people think, oh, Canada's so Canada's a different world. You know, no, it's not. Canada has that same 50%. I don't know if it's 50% or what, but it's a different country, but it's also got that other side too.
What part of Canada?
What was that?
What part of Canada?
Oh, I'm in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, beautiful place.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, Canada's not immune from this craziness. So I don't know whether to take heart with being in Canada or whether to be cautioned by this experience. But I was listening to I was observing a Facebook string chat with a friend who lives in North Carolina, and both he and his wife are very religious, but very much very left-wing religious. But you know, they both grew up in South and North Carolina. They have lots of friends, and in particular, his wife, who's an Episcopal minister, she has a lot of friends who are, you know, violently in favor. And it's just been very interesting to listen to their whole Facebook feed, where they're discussing and their friends are discussing their sort of dilemma. And this afternoon, I mean, as I strangely often find myself comforted a bit by the TV personality and former Congressman Joe Scarborough, who he has a really beautiful way of kind of trying to bridge the gap, because he considers himself coming from that other side. And he said a beautiful thing about how, well, I thought it was a wonderful thing. He said, he was talking about Cuban Americans in Florida and how they delivered for Trump, and how on earth could Hispanics vote for Trump in Texas? And what he was saying is, people are complicated. They have many sides to them. We think Hispanics should always vote. You know, how could they possibly vote for Trump? Well, there are other sides to Hispanics which do resonate with Trump and or resonate with what they think Trump is, which is very different from what we think Trump is. And it was just a good perspective that it's not entirely, the support of Trump is not entirely white racists. That was his point. There's a lot more complexity to there. And there are people on that other side who you can reach out to. That was kind of what I took away from it. It's not just a group of 50% white racists.
Right.
There is more complexity there than we appreciate from looking at a Trump rally.
We talked about this quite a bit earlier tonight. How to make a connection. What's the solution? That it's a troubling dilemma. How half the country, it wasn't a landslide, Joseph.
Yeah.
We were wishing for a landslide, but it wasn't. So your point is very well taken by all of us.
So I guess that my conclusion was right now, because I listened to his podcast from this morning about an hour ago, or as I was driving around doing some doctor stuff for my mom, when you guys were probably starting this call. And I just was thinking, I don't know, that just made me feel slightly more hopeful. That's all. So that's how I am. So thank you for asking.
Beautiful.
Wunderbar.
In Arabic, say shukran. Shukran katir.
Shukran, ya habibi.
Shukran katir. And in Russian, we say spasiba balshoya. And Joseph, just so all you know, is among my dearest brothers and friends from many years, also the godfather of all my children, literally. And if anything happens to me, he's in charge of the Papa Bear duties.
Yeah. One of the fun questions of every evening is, how do you know Artemis?
I know.
Right? Like all these people who come and visit, like from all these walks of life and geographies. How do you know Artemis is a really lovely part of the question of an evening, even if we are 5 or if we're 30, or if we're 50, or if we're 7,000, whatever it is. But and then it's like, then we start our own little villages. How do we know ourselves? And But anyway, with your permission, Artemis.
Yes, my brother.
Being a little bit of a Sid, whenever I had an instrument in her hand.
Yes.
And did you try to back out of playing it? Because I can play it for you, or you can play it for us.
No, we want you to play something you love.
Yeah, we want Gunevra to play something for us, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
within your heart. Within your heart.
Oh no! Oh, okay. I maybe I misunderstood you, but I don't think that Gunevra did. Go for it.
Okay, so is Noam gonna play or am I gonna play? Because I don't have a plan.
No. Artemis loves music.
I want to play Moon Shadow. Leaping and hopping on a moon shadow.
I don't know, but this is something that I was just kind of playing with, like fooling around with, and I started playing this at somebody's house one night, and there was a pretty good drummer there that was like keeping up with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it came from, but it's kind of happy.
Okay, so what's going on over here is the shumba de bam bam kajung gang gang.
Whoops.
Kadum ba de bam boo ba de day. Shudu ba bam shiga boo ba. Oops. She Baye kumanyanamo. Tita padil de tope, papa pape, go madube, shaya, shogarege, shaya, oh yeah,
I don't know, I just noodle around. Apparently,
No
I have
talking,
very,
no
I've been,
talking, just music, please. Just music, please. I'm sorry to put my finger, but play for us. So what? So I'm your bass line. Shoom, boom, boom, bang, Artemis asked me to start the evening with a drum and then end the evening with a drum. And, you know, like, since I'm an improviser, by contact, or I mean, like, or not by contact improvisation, I will always play because that is my expression of love. And I think this channel is all about love.
it is.
I join this channel every night because I'm looking for love in all the right places.
Love
Okay, so today I swam in Walden Pond.
Today,
I swam in a lake in Massachusetts.
wow.
Yes, and I didn't know that I could make it. And I thought I might chicken out, but I always have these two things going on. It's like how my body relates to temperature of the water. And the second thing is how desirous I am of swimming and going into that body of water, just like crossing it. And I managed to do so much more in the water today than I thought I would, because if you're going to be a swimmer into the winter, you have to swim every day. You cannot take a break and all of a sudden get a shock of a drop, boom, especially like we had. But I went anyway because I know if I want to really be ready to come for an epic democracy broadcast, I gotta swim Walden. No, yeah.
Beautiful.
And I did.
Do you know Mitch Levine?
Yes, I do. I know him very well.
Yeah, because we were there yesterday.
He doesn't swim much, but he lies on, and every ray of sun that comes, he lies down and he finds a way to get that ray of sun in Walden Pond. That's Mitch.
Yeah.
But I go in. I swim to the other side and I come back. And tonight, I did not know how long I would last. I thought because I missed 7 days to body regulate, I would not last a minute. And then my face said, brain freeze. And I said, Hope, don't just like listen to what your opinion is about what your head says to you. Don't have emotions about the temperature. Just say, this feels like that. X, no emotion. And then my hands are cold. Oh, okay. And then I said, so that was just like the first minute or two, because it's like when you come in, it's like, I want to get out of here. It's like, it's cold. But I want to,
it's 9:07, so I want to let people go, but I also want everyone to say one more thing if they'd like to, or sing one more song, or read a poem.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for big time, man.
So
I totally lost track of time. Sorry about that.
No worries, brother. No worries. We're all excited to be together. It's all good. So, Andy, do you have a statement or a poem you want to read, or something you want to say?
I love you guys. You are the best. You warm my heart. I love you.
Love that. Thank you.
Yeah, you are the best. I love you guys. You are the best. I love you guys. You are the best. You are the best. Oh yeah. You are the best, best. As we sign off tonight, night. And the 70s are gone. In the 60s, are like who remembers, and the 80s, and but trickle down economics, and who started that notion that was so like really you're nothing but the best, Andy.
Woo!
But the best.
You are nothing but the best, and the love thing that you're gonna do on Saturday night? When?
Yeah, Saturday at 7.
Whoa, yeah, whoa, yeah, Maya no, voye de, va, do, va, yeah. I love you all, even you, Konstantinos, that I don't know it all, but I know your heart is just like one of the tribe.
I could do a little song I like. This is a it's called a bajan. It's just like a little round.
Yeah.
But it's to send just to say have a nice journey home, even though you're already home. But it goes like this. It's may the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you
Shine your way home.
guide your way home.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. Wow, wow, Brenda, I haven't heard this in a, that's so beautiful.
And it's a round and people can see.
No, I was there.
Let's do it as a round. Brenda, you and Andy start.
May the long time sun shine upon you.
May the
All
heart
around you. And the pure light within you guide your way home.
More time, one more time.
So
May
pretty.
the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way home.
One more time, please. Just one more time, please.
Doing it forever. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way home.
Mm.
I love the way it ends.
Find your way home. Oh, that's around and around and
The way it
around.
ends on that note, it's like the unfinished thing.
Artemis.
I want. We have to sing that, Brenda, on Saturday night when we start. Okay.
Okay. Well, actually,
that works, everyone, and we'll appoint different harmonizing groups.
well,
Those who can.
I could come up with another one for a beginning round, and that could be the ending round.
Cool. Love it.
Because it's about journeying home.
Brenda and Andy, are you going to Walden tomorrow?
We could.
We might.
Okay.
Are you?
So let's. If I go, I will email you.
Okay, good.
If you go, you'll email me.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And then Sunday night, we're going to do what's called Learning to Learn Forever.
Learning to learn.
What are the skills that we need to learn, so we can always learn what we need to learn in order to be happy, be productive, whatever it is. So think of all the things you learned in high school that are irrelevant. And now that Google's here, we don't even argue about dates anymore because we can just look them up. But what really is important to argue about how we feel and what we're invested in. And the motto of this school will be learn what you love and the rest will follow.
I love that.
Yeah. So Artemis, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
How is it that you have all these incredible questions you're asking all the time, and then creating all these visual and audio experiences of them? What drives you to keep going?
Wow, it's a wonderful question. I have a disease called spinal muscular atrophy. Most people die of this disease before they're 2. And so for me, every day of my life after a certain point was just a gift. It is a gift. And I'm curious. I'm like Curious George. I'm curious about everything. And I love learning. And I went to Hampshire College where I learned how to learn. I mean, it was literally transformational to realize that it wasn't about, the linear style learning, but it was more my ability to make things happen in the world. Wow. Learning is not just reciting something, but it's actually putting into action your passions. And so that's what I learned. And now I want to teach that to the world through an online university where anyone can be part of it anywhere in the world. And for the first 3 years, it's free. And then when you start to make money from your passions, the professors and staff make money with you. It's like a win-win.
Oh, wow. It's built on the trust system. That's something so important to say. It's built on the trust system. Trust is the most precious commodity, I say.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim?
In trust and trust.
Tim, last week I did a conference session for the Architectural Boston Expo with an architect named HMFH. And what they had designed was the new building on Hampshire College that is totally sustainable. And I was part of that discussion. There were 4 speakers under the architect, and I was one of them.
Wow.
It was amazing. It was amazing what the new building is doing, being totally sustainable and and basically carbon neutral.
Right.
Wow.
That's right up my alley. I love that.
Yeah, we could have a meeting there. I mean, in fact, Hampshire has gone from, Le Corbusier. You think of Le Corbusier in the modern period, and then you go into, Frank Lloyd Wright and more earthy. And then Hampshire ended up being this awful looking concrete misery. And all the students that went there realized how ugly it was. But we always envisioned a space like the new center there. And it's a dream. I mean, in fact, now that the college is only a third of the students, most of the activities happen in that one building. They've shut down a third of the campus.
So that was part of the discussion just last week.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So,
when I think of Greek philosophy, I think of both their gods and goddesses, and I'm named Artemis, which is wild that I have a name like that. But I'm also, the name actually is not after the goddess. My name is Artemis Artemovich. Artemi was a saint in the Russian Orthodox Church, which is my family. And he was killed by the Romans for saving disabled children from being killed by the Romans.
Wow.
Because the Romans wanted to eliminate anyone with autism or, eugenics, basically. It was the first form of Holocaust.
Right.
My saint is named for a man who is this man who saved children. Imagine that, And so I do love what you were saying, Noam, about our names. My name is Artemis Archibovich Volinsky Joukowsky.
Oh, your name is such a beautiful name.
Artemis Archibovich Volinsky Joukowsky. And my family comes from a place called Volhynia. And in 1490 or so, my great-great-great-great-grandfather was among the first unifiers with Peter the Great of Russia. So that's where our family comes from. It's an incredible story. And I'm actually going to publish, I'm going to make a film about my grandfather's story.
I've been following your ancestry through some of your movies, and also like the stories you tell me when we meet from time to time.
Yeah.
I have history that I can go back 300 years with my
Right.
family in Lithuania and Transylvania and Hungary and Hebron and Jerusalem and Palestine and Israel. And so I think that the question I want to ask, are you tired? You must be exhausted. Don't you have to go to sleep? Like,
I'm going to sleep
I mean,
now. I've been
yeah,
swimming all day.
yeah.
I've been
So,
in this
so
pool
you've been
for
putting
12
this,
hours.
yeah.
Timmy,
So,
Wow.
Timmy, you
so should we
can't go
say
to
good
sleep.
night?
Tim,
I'm
Should we say-
growing gills here.
Tim,
But
Tim.
I would like to invite Joseph. Are you still there, my brother?
No, he's gone.
All right. And Chuck, do you want to leave us with anything profound for us to think about giving?
So Tim cannot go to sleep tonight because Georgia is just 2,500 votes away.
Okay.
Pennsylvania is 48,000. And they're closing the gap. But there's a Greek song that says, Sagapoia ti sorea, sagapoia ti sesi. I love you because you're beautiful. I love you because you're you.
Yeah. Oh, let's sing that together. How does it go?
Sagapoia ti sorea. Sagapoia ti sorea. Sagapoia ti sesi.
Sagapoia sakira sako asorea. Sagapo asaliga sore.
Actually, the singer who sang that sings in Israel a lot.
Beautiful.
Konstantinos, what a beautiful heart you have.
I'm going to leave you with one more thought. You talked about the Armenian genocide.
Yes.
Okay. And you know that the Armenian genocide was a model for the German genocide.
Yes.
In 1937.
And Israel does not recognize a genocide yet. That's really messed up.
In 1937, Hitler said, "Who remembers the Armenians now?"
Right.
I think I know.
Oh my God! You know what? Okay, so you know what, Artemis?
Yes.
Can we send you off with gratitude of the utmost?
I don't want to go though. I don't want to go yet. I want to stay with Chuck.
Really?
I want to stay up with anyone who wants
I'm
to
just
stay up.
worried that nobody's taking care of you and that you need to go to sleep.
No.
You need to go to sleep and nobody's there to take you back to sleep.
Sometimes I sleep right here.
Because Sid is not around and Patrick is not around. And like, who is going to help you moderate? No, because we just want to care for you. Artemis, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Are you okay? Are you just gonna like melt inside the pool and never come back? I mean, you've been there for such a long time. Are you sure you're okay?
I am so good, baby.
Oh my God, your channel is a fucking cat's meow. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that word.
It's ours.
I don't speak profanity.
It's fine. I inspired it, but you know, it's about what we do together now and how we comfort each other. And you know, we didn't lose. We might win very shortly, as Chuck said. So that's fucking great.
You know what? You know what the most absurd is? That in this case, winning or losing makes no fucking difference.
Oh, it does. No, I disagree. I think
no. There's less destruction.
Yeah.
But not more connection with our citizens.
Well, it's true.
If we have a new president, there'll be less destroyed.
I think Biden is a unifier. You know, like what Brenda, what you were saying about being a community builder, like you are, Chuck. You go and make common connection with people, whoever they are. You know, we love.
I do that too, Artemis.
I know.
So how but
by the way, I want everyone for them to tell us what their Myers-Briggs is. I just learned from
the what?
My Myers-Briggs.
Okay.
Okay.
Andy, what's mine? What's mine?
ENFP.
ENFP.
Yeah.
That means extrovert,
Extroverted, intuitive, feeling,
feeling,
feeling and perceiving.
perceiving. And
Yeah.
perceiving means just
Keeping everything open to the last
open.
minute, getting more information, being more spontaneous and flexible.
Yes. So that's who I am. And I never knew that until tonight. And Brenda and Andy described these attributes of people and how they line up together. And their love affair is largely that they're the same.
Yeah.
And they love being together, right?
We are
Oh
the
my
same.
God. You know
It's a
what?
personality indicator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder you don't want to get out off the channel, Artemis. I was just worried that you're tired. I mean, you put a 5-day thing with all these people like working for you, and
we're
you're like
just getting
orchestrating
going.
it. With the, but,
We're getting
Whatever.
we're just getting going.
Can I,
no, but no, you're inspired by love. You're
whatever
inspired
that,
by love.
The thing
whatever
about
that
extrovert,
rare personality type is,
What's that?
whatever the rare one is, I am that. And I'm supposed to have a lot of people with trouble sometimes with people because I'm so altruistic.
Ah.
Altruistic.
Yeah.
So if you go,
What do you do you know what the criteria are?
So
Guinevere?
I could just tell you what I remember of my scoring. So I'm exactly 50-50. So it could go either way, E or I. And
F.
F or FP or
Yes.
yeah.
So
it's
you're Brenda, you're that one, same one, right?
No, I'm an extrovert, but I'm the
you're
same
public.
otherwise. In fact, you, me, and Andy are all the same.
Okay.
And we're different too, of course. But
right.
if you go to Keirsey, KEIRSY or some SEY.com, you can take the little instrument. You can take answer 70 questions.
Huh.
Okay.
And
So
the thing about Myers-Briggs is that it's really helpful for you for you to understand one another.
Right.
It's a tool for understanding each other.
Right. Beautiful.
Yeah. So
Guinevere, what are you again? You're an I or E, half and half. And then and then your next is what?
N.
Intuitive.
Yeah, intuitive.
And then I think it was FP.
Yeah, feeler and perceiver.
Yeah. So you're almost like me. You're like us too. I mean, we're the same.
So like on the beginning one, the I or the E, it could have gone either way. It was exactly like 49% this and 51% that. I think it was 51% extrovert. And then the P was also split 50-50 with a T.
With a J.
I don't know, I should take it again.
It's a J. Yeah.
The J is what? Is that judgment or analysis or
judging?
Structure. It has to do with structure. It doesn't really mean judging. It's making decisions.
I got it. It's a structure. Got it.
Right.
I love it. Now, Chuck, what are you?
You know, it's been so long since I took it, but I took it once in Connecticut in front of a group. And the lady had it, and I'll say this, gnat's ass. I'm definitely an extrovert. I've been a little quiet here today, I think, for me. But I don't remember exactly. And I took it at the office too. I just remember extrovert.
All right. So then the next choice is N. N or what's the other one?
S. It's intuitive or sensing.
Are you sensing or intuitive?
I'm a little of both. I'm in the middle there.
Okay. The next is feeling and
thinking.
Feeling.
And then the last is structure or closure or go with the flow kind of thing.
Well, I'm a leader as opposed to a go with the flow. But I'd have to say I tend to go more towards a Greek word, which is chaos.
Mm.
I work well in chaos.
That's pretty P.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure is, when they had to get a job done in 3 weeks, when they had a
Yeah.
6 worth of work, I would get it done.
Right.
Yeah. So you can deal with, you're almost ADD in that way, that you can deal with a lot of things at one time.
Well, did you read the part in my book where I say that I would have been diagnosed with ADD?
That's why I was referring to it.
Right.
Yeah, I think you are ADD. I'm ADD.
ADD was not a disease when we were kids.
Right.
So, my dear friends, I would like to, I have to sign off from this incredible epoch democracy. And the beauty about this democracy, let's remind all our listeners in America and abroad, that has to do with listening to yourself and really finding your own democracy within your own self before you even try to do it with another person. And if you can do it with yourself and another person, then you can do it with like 5 other people, and then maybe a village, and maybe a community, and maybe a state or town and a country. But now, no matter what the results are, we are in the same shit we have been before, and we have just as much work to do as we had before. Okay? But there'll be less destruction.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay,
Inshallah. And I want to say something. I want to say something about you said.
I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say goodbye.
All right, but before you go, let me just say one thing about what you just said that was so profound.
My dear brother.
Yes, you go. We'll talk tomorrow.
No, my dear brother.
Tomorrow is Sid.
My dear brother, please say what you're going to say.
Well, I just wanted to say that tomorrow night at 7, Sid is leading a Creative Zone event that we're all going to join in, if we want, of course, at 7 to 8, called the Dreamer's Den.
Would you send us an email about that?
Yeah, we'll get you. Everyone will get an email tomorrow, and then Saturday, love communication. Okay. Sunday, learning to learn, and then Monday we're going to do astrology and poetry. And then Tuesday, I think we'll have an open mic.
Yeah.
Our own open mic.
That's a good idea.
So now that I have to leave because there are people waiting for me in my backyard, it's cold.
All right.
I would just say Konstantinos.
Okay.
It's a pleasure. No, let me say my goodbye in my own way. Konstantinos, it was such a pleasure to meet you. Gwen, every night you inspire me. Seeing your face here and you coming here, it's like I come back. You have something. And Brenda and Andy, oh, gewalt. I mean, like, wow. You guys, you got what Brenda's got and like years of living on the earth. In other words, you live longer. And you have not given up the message of love. No matter how you tell it, between him and her and his and him and other. So I hope my friends are still in the backyard because maybe I'm way too late. But Artemis, thank you for convening this epoch. That begins with our own self-democracy.
It's intimacy with ourselves, and it's really about attunement.
Yeah.
You have to close your eyes and say what Artemis really wants.
Check that one. Check it out. Let me give it to you before I go because that's best. At one meant. Let's spell that out and look at it. At one meant.
1 minute. Yeah.
I'm leaving. I have to go. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow probably.
I love you.
Bye. Oh my God. It's just 3 of us now.
No, 4 of us.
Five of us. Oh my God, I love it. We're five. We're still five. We're still a community. We're still like a growing mechanism of love, right?
Right.
Because we were in the car when we started, I missed some of your introduction, or I, was jumbled between traveling. But I just wanted to know, how did you come to be here tonight? What's your connection? Probably to Artemis, but because it has to be, right?
Yes. So he can shit because of me.
Whoa.
You're a plumber?
No, I designed his septic system.
Oh.
I'm a civil engineer and a land surveyor.
Ah.
Other things.
Oh, right. I think I remember you saying that.
So he had a very unique situation, and I was brought in to resolve it because I'm not a typical engineer. And that's what happened.
Ah.
And right now we're working on developing his property in a way with nature trails and solar panels, and he's got a really pretty aggressive program on his home.
Yes.
Property. So I'm on the team that's working on that. And I also worked, actually, I think I did a little consulting on his fish venture out west, Western Mass.
You did?
I did.
Really?
Getting out of the pool. Wow.
Tim, do you remember Seinfeld?
Oh, yeah.
I just got out of the pool.
He finally is out. I saw Tim skiing in Utah.
Ah, where did you guys meet?
I can't remember how long ago, but it was a long time ago, 30 years or so. Do you know Jeff Darcy?
No.
Anyway, it was a mutual friend. And my late husband was a physician that practiced with this other person who's an acupuncturist. And that's how we met. And so it's been a while. So yeah. And then were you on other nights?
No, this is my first time.
Oh, okay. So I didn't think I remember you from the first time, but Andy and I met 3.5 years ago online, and I was the only person he ever met online.
I love that story.
It's an amazing story. And Andy had been gone for 6 years.
I had been looking for a miracle for 6 years, a love miracle, sort of a mystic connection with God. It was very abstract. It was a complete failure. I came home depressed, and then bingo, I go online and I get this miracle. First person I meet, love of my life, soulmate, totally incredible.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's
very blessed.
It is really
like holy.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you. And a lot of it is like, I don't know. I mean, I'm really into creating. I don't want to say this like what you want, but just being really clear about what's important to you in life. And that's the kind of the laser focus I had when I met Andy. It was just like, I knew exactly what I wanted in a relationship, and
it's kind of like she created me.
Oh, like weird science.
She manifested you.
Yeah, but he was already there. I mean, I saw him, but it was just, yeah. So that's our story.
Yeah.
And Gwen heard it before, but
I like hearing it again.
Oh, good. Yeah, and it really is a miracle. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much there.
I love that you two vibe together with the UU.
that we've, yeah, and they love it too, because, you know, we did a service this summer. We led the whole thing. In fact, we have a recording of it, Artemis, if you ever want to see it.
I would love to.
Yeah, we could send a link, and it's it was really fun to do that together.
Yeah.
We brought in the music. We did, what was it on?
It was on happiness, the path to happiness.
Did you ever read the book by Dan Harris, 10% Happier?
No.
No, I didn't.
It's
No.
a really interesting book.
I read a book called The Joy Diet, and that was the book. I did a book group with 3 of my friends, and it was about about having joy in your life. And this was about 8 years ago that I did this. And it said, basically the question was, what's your heart's desire? Like, what do you desire? And mine was to sing. And it was no question. And talk about open mics, Gwen.
Yeah.
I started out in open mic, and then I ended up being a host at one, and then a host at another in Arlington. And then I led another one here in Weston that I started. And so
when was that?
2-3 years ago.
Okay.
And it's all about bringing people together to do music. And I love encouraging musicians. And you know, I don't play an instrument, but I sing. And I sing. My instrument is my voice.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that is your instrument.
So that's my passion, is my heart's desire was to sing.
I love that. Brenda, my daughter Jocelyn is a beautiful, beautiful singer and guitar player. And she writes this really beautiful, heartfelt, powerful type of stuff that just, when we listen to it in the recordings, it's just so incredible that it's her. And you know, we talk a lot about what it was like growing up with her. She was my little singer. And so a lot of times, like, it would just be like the comfort was just Jocelyn singing somewhere in the house. And of course, you know, she's 19, and I can like be anywhere in the house, and she's not home tonight, but I kind of miss just listening to her strum her guitar. And yeah, tonight we miss each other a lot. Like when she goes to work, I'm like, I miss you. So.
Oh, but she lives with you, right?
Yeah, we live together, but we're busy.
Yeah, I
So,
get it.
yeah.
I can't wait to meet her.
Yes, I hope that she'll, I'm going to talk to her about being around tomorrow.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll all go to dinner. Where would you like to go to dinner?
I don't know.
Joy.
I don't know.
Oh, that's right. He's meeting her tomorrow. Is that right?
Yeah, and you should all come. We're going to have dinner. My favorite restaurant in Northampton is Paul and Elizabeth's.
Paul and Elizabeth.
Have you been there?
We have a friend who has worked there, and he's also a great musician. He's very multi-talented, and he ran the open mic night also at Bishop's on Tuesday nights, and he's a great supporter of musicians and very encouraging. And he also plays in a band, I don't know if you've heard of it, called Shokazoba, which is an Afrobeat band. They mix a lot of different elements in there, and it's really a lot of fun. But I think, yeah. So I've never actually been there, but I'd love to check it out because I've heard it's really great.
Well, I'm the kind of person that loves to have appetizers in one restaurant. I mean, I only go out once or twice a year, so it's a big deal. Daughter cooks religiously a vegan diet that she, you know, really, it's really important to her that I follow in our home. Like, it's a kosher kitchen, you know, a kosher kitchen, and it's her kitchen. So when I go out, I get to go to places I don't normally eat. It's just fun for me. I grew up being in a family of connoisseurs. You know, I love being a connoisseur of life, you know, but I'm not a snob about these things.
Right. I can relate to that.
By the way, this is my elevator, everyone. This is my version of Facebook.
Oh,
Every
Chuck,
is a different daughter.
What's
And
that?
give a speech now, Artemis.
this is my love. Yeah, this is the song I was going to sing to everyone. It's a song I wrote when I was in college with all my pals. And it's actually, you know, kind of a known tune, but it goes, love, 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 love. People, we are made of love. Love each other as ourselves, for we are one. And the original song is dear friends, let me tell you. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm getting run over by my own elevator.
Tim.
By the way, this is my brother right here. Look at this gorgeous mask.
Oh.
Isn't that gorgeous? And these are all the images of my children. And look who's there, Teddy Williams.
Teddy Ballgame.
If we knew what your elevator was like, we would have definitely gone on it instead of taking this.
Yeah.
We had no idea.
Well, more things to look forward to with all of us, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Tim.
Yes, my brother. How are we doing in Georgia?
Georgia is 1,900 votes apart now.
What?
And Pennsylvania is only 42,000.
What?
Wow.
Wow, that was 600,000 yesterday, right?
Well,
Yes,
Trump is still ahead, but it's getting that close.
Wow. And what's happened with Nevada? Is that done now, or is it till tomorrow?
Nevada's stayed even since 11 o'clock this afternoon. It's 11,000 votes, and Arizona is 46,000 votes in favor of Biden.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's great news.
And I don't know if you guys saw the rant by Trump just before we started this Zoom thing.
No.
Oh, he was incredibly ridiculous.
I have never watched Trump.
I can't listen to him.
I have never, ever listened to him.
Me neither have I.
Chuck, do an impersonation.
I can't even do it. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm just too much of an empath. It just, whenever he opens this, it makes me just feel so sick to even.
So here's the thing, is that a lot of my Greek friends whose parents came here from Greece, who were all Democrats, now that they're successful and they want to get that 21% tax cut, they're all Republicans. And for me to be able to illustrate to them how wrong they are on Facebook, I've gone on a thing where I've actually watched Fox, and I've challenged them. I will watch an hour of Fox if they will watch an hour of Anderson Cooper and Bob Woodward.
All right.
So, I do that, and I try to say, hey, listen, the other thing is that we had a situation in the Greek church in 2000, and my church in Weston was the church leading the battle on the East Coast against the patriarchate and against a new archbishop. And there were two factions, one for one and one for the other in the church. And they were both trying to recruit me because I was on the church board. And I said, no, I have to stay neutral. I was the only church board member that stayed neutral. And when the archbishop came here to our church to discuss the situation, I was the only one that would go out there and greet him.
Oh.
Wow.
And the same thing is if we want to reach to these people, we have to know what they're watching. We have to do our homework. And and to me, I mean, Hannity's just off the wall. And last night, the blonde lady, I forget her name, she did not even address the presidency because she knew that they were losing.
TikTok. Daniel Susan.
You know, it's so horrible.
Let me just say, you want to meet everyone?
No, I just want to show you this.
This is my daughter,
Hi.
Alexandra.
Hi.
Hi again.
That me.
That's his house.
Right.
Oh my God, this is a friend of ours in Hawaii who we're going to visit. Oh, of course it's him.
Right? It
Yeah,
has like 10
so-
million views.
10 million views.
Yeah.
Love it.
So funny.
My daughter is a TikTok phenomena.
No, I just like,
Wow, I love it.
What's the most number?
Things like Twitter.
And the fun thing is, she cut my hair about 6 months ago, and we filmed it on TikTok. It was one of the most popular in her series.
isn't that funny?
Love it.
Constantine, do you live in Weston?
I live in Wayland.
Oh, we
Oh.
live in Weston,
Wow.
Whereabouts?
North Ave.
Okay.
117.
So you
Yeah.
must know Cynthia Camp.
No,
Oh, you go to church in Weston.
no, the Greek church.
Yeah, she's Greek.
No, I haven't, honestly, I haven't gone in a while.
Oh, right. Well, who can? But yeah, anyway, she's a good friend. She's a good friend, and she's very much part of the church.
Do
Anyway,
you want to see the best movie ever made about religion?
yes.
It's Oh God with George Burns.
Oh, of course. I saw it many years ago.
You know, but the deep meaning of everything that they say in that movie is whoever wrote it was brilliant.
Hmm.
Look at it again with the meaning of church. I had this discussion with Father Leahy at Boston College.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah,
Have you?
that'll be fun. Well, that
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
great.
I've never seen it.
He's wonderful. I love George Burns.
Right. But he said, when you said that, you asked me if I still go to church. And John Denver was asked God, why did you pick me? I don't go to any church. I don't belong to any church. And God's response was, neither do I. Think of the meaning of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not at all religious because I'm Unitarian Universalist, which is non-denominational.
Right.
But-
We worked on the UU church over in Wayland.
Oh, you go there?
No, we worked on it.
Oh.
The sewer.
We rehabbed it about 15 years ago.
Ah, I know the minister there, Stephanie May.
We did the church across the street. And we did the what do you call it? We've done a few temples too.
Wow, you get around.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're on mute, Artemis.
Your Chuck's wife is the boss of the company. So it's a women-run business. And are you looking to transition to sell the company and retire, or?
Yes.
Okay, good. So what's your vision after you do that?
To finish my book and go on the road and teach it.
Beautiful. That's a great dream.
So tell us the title. I heard something about it. Elevated.
The elevator speech elevated.
Elevator speech elevated.
Love that.
I know about the elevator speech. It's like, can you communicate by the time you get from one floor to the next or something like that? It's like quick, focused communication.
Right.
Oh.
Hey, you should be with us on Saturday with the communication topic.
It sort of hit a thing. I don't know. Saturday's a big day because we have to decommission our garden.
But it's at 7 o'clock at night.
I know.
But you'll be wiped out?
And maybe. No, I mean, I love the subject. I did have an elevator speech on one floor in the parking garage at the Boston Common.
Yes.
That's highlighted. So, you have to do things quick, but the elevator speech is not 30 seconds. The
No.
and I don't have one elevator. I don't have an elevator speech. I have an elevator speech for every person. It's not the same speech.
Oh,
I see.
Now, are you the one that can tell where people are from?
Yes.
Yeah, it was you. So do you know where I'm from?
No.
It's hard. I'm from
No, no,
Chicago.
no. Get. This is
Chicago?
her name. Her last name was Gonzalez.
Oh,
Is your name Gonzalez or Assis, or what is your name now? Last name?
well, it's Assis.
Assis. Okay, but your maiden name, your birth name was Gonzalez, right?
My birth name was Acosta. And
Oh,
Well, she was born to, her father's name was Acosta, but her
Oh.
birth certificate said Gonzalez.
so I grew up as a Gonzalez. So I'm Mexican, and I have how many percent Native American? I forget.
Oh, 33.
31% Native American.
what?
Yes.
So,
What? I never knew that about you. I love that.
Yeah, so do I.
What tribe? What tribe? Do you know where you
Well,
come from?
it's Durango and Chihuahua,
Yeah.
Mexico. But tribe, no.
Northern Mexico.
See, it's the Native American is the Mexican part. So it's, the Mexicans are Native American and Spanish.
Indigenous.
Yeah. So all I know is from the genealogy, whatever you call that, ancestry.com. That's where I found out that I was 31% Native American.
Wow.
Now we have to ask Chuck if he knows where I'm from.
Oh.
see, I haven't been thinking on that line. I'd say Connecticut.
Another planet?
Connecticut.
Let me fix something.
Where are you from?
No, we have to guess a few more times. What's your birth name?
10/12/1969.
10/12/1969 is your birth date. Yep. At 2:30, you said, right?
2:30 in the afternoon. It was a Sunday.
Wow. And
So
where were you?
Every Sunday is my birthday.
Yeah.
I was born in Marlborough, Massachusetts.
Oh, Marlborough.
Oh.
Yep.
And
But your parents are not from Marlborough.
Well, one set of my grandparents was from Marlborough. And my grandfather was a very important person in the school system there for 25 years. And then his wife, my grandmother, took care of the house and the home. And then on the other side, my paternal grandfather was Scottish, 100%. And my paternal grandmother was 100% Italian. Well, from Italy. But when I had my genetics done, it came out very interesting. And so I've decided to change my name so that it reflects this little combination of everything. But when I had
Italy.
So genetically, so my grandmother and my great-grandfather came from Emilia Romagna, the Modena region. But at the time it was called something else. So every single time I would ask her what part of Italy, she would say that it doesn't exist anymore. And then I'd say, grandmother, when Aunt Galba comes over, can you show me how to speak the language? And she said, no. And then my great grandmother passed away. And so then she said, you don't want to ever speak this type of Italian. She said, because people would know that you came from a poor Italian family. So at the time where they were from was, I think it's more like northeast of, it's in, I feel like I should know more about the history of Italy. And so I've been learning more about it because my grandmother had some interesting superstitions and things. And the other thing I was telling Artemis about was that I had my DNA done, which would be only the female side, but all that French that my mother told me about, I discovered actually they were genetics from Somalia, Sardinia, the central part of Italy. I'm not sure exactly what region, and Finland, actually, on that side. So.
Wow.
Do you know what the problem is with accents in the United States? It's the same thing with frickin' malls. You go into a mall and everything on the East Coast is the same as the West Coast, is the same as Texas, is the same in Chicago. So when you go into, so there's a homogeneous aspect to language that has changed, unless you're in like the deep South or, you know,
Right.
you're Texas or Fort Worth or something like that, or if you come from Halsted Ave on in Chicago.
Yeah, I used to live on Halsted.
Really?
Yes.
When I go to Chicago, I'm on Halsted every day.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I definitely lived there, and it was near Wrigley Field.
Well, Halsted Ave is a Greek town.
Oh, wow. Well, it goes beyond that. I mean, it's
No, I don't think. I think Halsted Ave is like. I don't think it's that close to Wrigley. Maybe it might be another street you're thinking about.
definitely
I think
Halsted.
Halston is near to. Aren't you near Kaminsky Park more? The south side.
Halsted is right near the river there.
The Chicago River.
Yeah.
Right. Remember in my Frat Creek wedding, they drive by the Chicago River to go to the diner.
Right.
And that I think is the best ethnic laugh at yourself film I've ever seen. Like laugh at my Fat Greek wedding.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's my big fat.
The funny part of it was, the funny part of it was when I went into the movie theater to see it, half the church parish was in there the same night.
Yeah.
Well, you know, in Chicago, things, it's like everything's so flat and straight. You go from north to south and east to west. And Halsted, I think Halsted runs north to south, right? I mean, it's not east to west.
Something, I don't know, because
yeah,
I would have a few ouzo there when I went.
Yeah. But the thing is, it probably goes from one end to the city to the next, you know? So
I thought it was a short street, or the Greektown part of it is only about 5 blocks.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I don't think
it's the only Walgreens written in Greek in the country.
Oh, wow.
On the sign.
Wow.
Oh. Interesting.
Pennsylvania's down to 42,000 votes.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. What a time to be alive. What
Really?
a time that we are witnessing in the world history. Isn't it amazing?
In the history of the entire planet ever.
Pathetic.
Absolutely. Wishing I was born in the 1800s.
Why?
Yeah.
Because the Trump scene is not something I was looking forward to.
Right. Oh my God! I think we're done with him, though. It's right, Chuck. It looks like we got enough to go on 270.
Yeah, it looks like that. And you know, he actually could run the table and get 306.
What do you mean run the table?
Run the table would be he would get Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, and Philadelphia, and Pennsylvania. So that would get him up to 306.
Wow.
Yeah, but is that going to happen?
Well, right now, all the
Right.
indicators are, the only thing that's up in the air, I think, really is Arizona and um, Nevada, which is
Trump winning?
18.
No, Biden.
Oh. I thought you were talking about Trump winning.
No, 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 no. Trump,
So even,
Trump could be running the, or Biden could be running the table. He had a great speech today.
Yeah.
A very
Yeah.
Today or yesterday?
today.
Oh,
I didn't listen to him today, but I listened to what he had to say the night of voting, and it was just enough. And I thought it was very nice what he had to say.
I agree. We're not enemies.
That's right. And I'm looking at Nebraska is at 54% Biden, 54.6% Biden, with Trump at 43.5, and then others 1.9%.
Wow.
Which one are you talking about?
I'm looking at npr.org.
Oh, no, if you go to, did you say
AP?
Nebraska?
Yeah, Nebraska. I'm sorry.
Nebraska
I'm in
has Nebraska has the one seat that Biden won. It's done according to seats.
I see.
So it's not really in the mix. It's right now there are 4 states that really affect the presidency, and that's Georgia, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. Those are the 4. There's 1 seat in Maine that still hasn't been determined, I think, and I think North Carolina, although it hasn't closed, is not expected to go Biden's way. So that's in Trump's corner.
Wow. It's going to be really
There
tight.
is a possibility that it could be tied.
Okay, well, when I flip the cards, I was told that there's going to be a tie.
Wow, you did. Wow, wow.
I don't like the sound of that.
Yep, I was told that there's going to be a tie, but the people will vote for Mother Earth.
I think don't use those cards for your lottery picks this weekend.
I should use the numbers.
You are so funny. I think kind of a tie, and I think we just squeaked it out. But, you know, I'm not worried about the lawsuits. It seems like, you know, no longer how long he contests them, it'll be like Bush versus Gore. You know, eventually a court will decide, some court, I don't know which court.
I think that you need a basis. You need a basis for a court judgment, and I don't think that the basis of the court judgment. Obviously, I've been an alcoholic on this whole subject, but you know, like he's contesting 56 votes in Pennsylvania. You know, that's not going to cut it. He argues on one state for closing the polls early, and he spelled it POLES the other day too. Okay, and on the other hand, so he wants to keep one open and keep one closed. Well, what argument does that present in court?
Right. He needs to have the grounds for disputing anything, and I'm pretty sure that most everybody who's doing all the groundwork and, you know, counting those votes, you know, I mean, one thing that I was reading about today, which is very true, is, you know, the mail-in ballots had to be mailed in by the date, you know, that it had to have midnight the night before the election. And so there are people who are voting from out of the country.
No, that's not true.
That's not true?
No. So what is, no, if you're giving a flat statement across the entire United States, each state has its own voting regulations. Some of them can be sent in on the day of voting and have to be received within, I think there's one that's up to 7 days. So, and then you have the military vote, which has a different perspective depending on the state. So it's state to state, and that's the reason why Trump could not project himself as divine ruler again.
Right.
Right.
Divine ruler.
I don't call on Facebook. I don't call him. I was calling him 45 until everybody started copying me, and then I started calling him 46 minus 1.
I love it.
What was the last thing you said? You started calling him what?
45,
Yeah.
and then 46 minus 1.
I'm looking at Georgia right now, and for Biden, it's
exactly the same.
2, 445, 321, and for Trump, it's 2, 447, 223. So that's
In Georgia,
Can
yeah.
you say that?
there's 2,000 votes separating them.
Okay. Okay. 2,000 votes. That's unbelievable. So what did Biden say today? Was he talking about this process? What was he saying with like?
He just said.
What was he saying?
Be calm and allow people to count the votes. And you know, he did say that he got a briefing on the coronavirus.
Sounds like he won.
And stated that there was it's up to 240,000 deaths right now. And also he got a briefing on the economy.
Very good.
So George,
one of the businesses that I run is a company where we take inputs on carbon usage in any industry, and we analyze how to reduce your carbon intensity, and we score companies based on how well what they produce relative to how much carbon they use. And Biden's top federal, the guy he would probably have for the Federal Reserve, is very supportive of our analysis for climate change. So we might be getting involved with the Biden conversation about how the Fed would be managed with more inputs on climate and the impact of our economy on climate.
Right.
So that's super cool. That's super cool. Very excited.
Well, we were doing the design for Winthrop High School, and midway through, FEMA came out with a new study about the rise in the ocean. And that came out 3 days before the town hall meeting, and we had to totally redesign the site within 2 days for the town meeting to get it.
Oh, wow.
So, we see it in our storm drainage analysis.
Right.
Right.
Chuck, one thing I heard is that the water running from the north, from Canada down to the Gulf of Mexico, is going to be unprecedented. The underwater rivers, not the rivers on top only, but the rivers underneath the water. And that there'll be this moment of geological phenomena of the cleanest fresh water in the world basically melting and going south. Does that make sense to you? I mean, I know our mountains are not always north to south, and but I'm just curious what you think of that story about water.
I haven't looked north of the border.
Also just need a break.
But when you look at it, you got the St. Lawrence Seaway coming down.
You can stay on if you want. But.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Just say where you're at.
I don't know, Tim.
Okay. I'll just
Bye-bye. Night.
Running out of steam.
Okay. Thanks
All
for
right,
joining,
guys.
Brendan and Andy.
I'll send you links tomorrow, but assume there's something every night. And Monday night will be astrology. Tuesday night will be open mic. Wednesday will be body and attunement. Patrick's going to lead that. And then, so that's the schedule. And I'll send you all a paper I've written about the Learning to Learn Online University.
Okay.
That I think will generate some very interesting conversations.